Hey guys, it's Brendan the Paleo Dude, and welcome back to another Jurassic World unboxing and review video. Today we'll be taking a look at the Stegosaurus and the Allosaurus from the Hammond collection lineup. These guys are incredible. I love the detail and design. They're perfect. You can see on the box it says The Lost World Jurassic Park, has a little scene from the movie, and this guy actually has Battle at Big Rock on the side, which I think is a fantastic nod to the short film. So, these figures, of course, are both from the Jurassic period as well, Morrison formation, so I thought it was very fitting to get them both. I'm trying to build a herd of Stegosaurus for photography, and having two Allosaurus is the perfect amount for a pack, so I was really happy to see that this guy went on sale. Uh-oh, his little arm is awkward. Is it on correctly? Oh no! He came with the wrong hand. I think? No? Maybe? Maybe it just looks weird. I think that's correct. Okay. I was just... Huh. We'll have to compare it to the other arm. I guess that looks right. Right? Yeah, maybe? It looks like it's backwards. It feels like it should be that way. Anyways, we'll compare it to the other arm and take a look. That would be really funny if it had two left hands or two right hands. But I've seen that actually happen a little bit with some of these figures in the past, but I'm not sure if this is one of those figures that suffers from that mistake or not. No, I guess they're both like that, actually. They're just kind of awkward looking. But that's fine. I was just thinking because the way they curve and like the finger length and stuff. But I think that's just how they are. Okay. Let's fold them down a little bit. There we go. So I love this figure a lot because of the tail. I think this is the longest tail we've gotten in Hammond collection besides the Giga figure, which is nice because it is super heavy, super long, and it just looks phenomenal. So we're gonna pop that tail in. Come on. I think that's popped in. I didn't hear a snap, but I can't pull it out anymore. So the colors are great, and I love the way you can bend the tail. It's rubbery. It's got a very big wire inside, so you can get a full range of posability with it, which is phenomenal. And this thing is like the same length as the body. It is just so nice. Now with the Allosaurus figures, there's some variation in this kind of dark color on the side. Sometimes it goes down to the arm, and in other cases it does not. So in my other Allosaurus figure, you can see the lighter color continues on, and the arm's kind of stuck floating there. Whereas this one, that dark color, the dark blue, goes down to the arm and connects it. So there's some variation within the colorations of this figure, and if that's something you're picky about, sometimes it's better to get it in stores, but I'm not sure if this guy is at Target anymore, but definitely on Amazon, so you can still pick this guy up. And the teeth are fantastic. They're all individually molded rubber, so you're not gonna scuff the paint on them, and they're all very soft, which is awesome. And the neck articulation is just so nice on this figure. You can pose it all sorts of ways, up, down, side to side. It's not as limited as other ones, which I'm really happy about, especially the downwards position if you're attacking small dinosaurs or people. This figure is just incredible. It's definitely one of the Hammond collection's best out of the lineups. So the Stegosaurus, oh my goodness, is so big. The box is actually a little bit larger, longer, and taller than the Allosaurus box. So I think that's pretty cool that there's a little bit of chonk to this guy. Let's see. And of course the box has some differences on it. The render on the front is a Jurassic World Stegosaurus that has been loosely recolored to look like the Lost World one, but luckily the Stegosaurus itself is a completely new mold from the previous Jurassic World Stegosaurus figures, so it is more accurate to to what we see on the screen in the Lost World. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's eat the package. It also has a blue coloration inside the box, whereas previous Hammond Collection ones had that orangey color. So the tail is very heavy, and a lot of the times the figure will kind of fall back on it. So you've got to position the legs to where they support that weight. So I'm going to put one back like that, and now it won't be falling back. The figure's proportions are really nice. I love the head size, and the tail length is great. You can hold it nice and high above the ground so it isn't dragging, and each of the plates are rubbery, which is really cool. Same with the tail and the tail spikes, it's all rubbery. And you can pose the tail. It's got the same wires as the Allosaurus. Since it's not as long, it's a little bit thicker, it's a little harder to get it into really like drastic positions, but you can definitely pose it side to side, and there is this ball joint on the back for extra means of rotation, which is really nice. The ankles and the knees have joints in them, and you can position it like it's running, squatting, sitting, lying down. There's so much possibility. You can even splay out the front legs a little bit, which is really cool. Let's put it back now, there we go. And of course some of the joints might be a little tight, so you gotta kind of play with them a bit to get them looser. I've had that problem with some of my Hammond Collection figures in the past, but you don't want to be too forceful in case you break it. Luckily I've never popped any of my figures' sockets or joints out. The head has some really nice articulation. You can position the head side to side, up and down, and the neck itself has that extra ball joint in the back. So that is just really cool. And the bulk of the figure, it's massive. It is just really, really big. So here's it next to the Carnotaurus. You can see, yeah, it's a lot bulkier than the theropods, that's for sure. And it looks great next to other Hammond Collection figures. Absolutely fantastic. I love the colors on this one. I kind of wish the underbelly would be a tad bit darker, but nonetheless, it does work really well with the baby Stegosaurus as well. Now, I find it interesting that the baby Stegosaurus has this opening and closing mouth feature, and the head is far smaller than what we see in the Stegosaurus, but the adult does not have the opening and closing mouth feature, which I'm not bothered about because we don't have to see that line. The kind of jaw segment and joint in there is very visible, but you can see that in most of the figures anyways. It's kind of harder to hide. The para, it kind of looks not as bad, but the Stegosaurus has these gums that kind of fold over these skin cheeks, whereas on the baby, for some reason, it does not, so the mouth kind of opens like that all the way. For the para, they dealt with that by just having the very tip of the mouth open and close. The Stegosaurus, it probably would have been harder, but I'm thinking, yeah, they definitely could have pulled it off at this scale, just having the beak open and close, but then there would have been that kind of pesky hinge joint being visible. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't. There's not really any reason to have the mouth open unless you want to do photography of it, I guess, like screaming, but you could always Photoshop that. Nonetheless, the figure is just beautiful and perfect. It came out alongside the Lost World Raptors, which again work really well with it, like the other figures do. Their colorations fit perfectly. The green and the orange contrast very nicely. And of course, the Spinosaurus also looks pretty fantastic with it. So this figure is phenomenal. I highly recommend picking up the Stegosaurus, especially if you're a fan of the Lost World or the older franchise movies. This is just spectacular. It is a quality figure. It doesn't have too many flaws or downsides. Like, the heavy tail is easy to counter, and the coloration is really nice. So I've been comparing it to previous Hammond Collection Lost World figures, and I think it just looks fantastic. next to them and has so much compatibility with other mainline figures. So it's one you don't want to pass up. I can guarantee that. Now, that figure in the back could use some work in terms of color matching with the rest. It's a little bit too vibrant, I feel like the Lost World Hammond Collection Rex. If you did miss out on that guy, it shouldn't be too big of a worry, because hopefully down the road we'll get a Hammond Collection Rebirth Rex, and that would be a perfect stand-in for the Buck Rex in the Lost World. So I'm definitely holding out hope on that one, but these figures just have so many great color tie-ins to the Lost World, and I feel like I would love to see more of the expanded universe. Now, we have photos dropped of the Moosaurus, I think that's how you say it, and Ornitholestes from the Lost World novel, and those look fantastic. I cannot wait to compare them to the movie figures. I love that we're getting tie-ins from the novels and expanded universe like the Troodon, so I cannot wait to see what Mattel has in store for us in the next iteration of Hammond Collection figures. For now, definitely don't pass up the opportunity to pick this one up. I know once a Hammond Collection figure goes out of stock, they are very hard to get, and I'm not sure if Stego is going to be a shelf warmer or not, but I would not take the risk, especially seeing all the new Hammond Collection figures that they're planning to release in the near future. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing and review video. Be sure to check out my previous videos if you haven't already. And real quick, while I still have you guys, I started my own plushie company where I produce high quality, realistic and accurate plushed animals from the Paleozoic, and I also have some dinosaur ones planned. So if this interests you guys, check out the link in my bio and consider sharing and supporting my project. Anyways, again, really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.